All right. Does anyone want to share their screen today?
I can share mine today.
Cool. Thank you, Mike.
Mike.
And I'll take notes here in the retro issue.
Oh yeah, group by epic. Oh, so intro to recording. This is the Geo Scheduling Call. We're going to go over our build board. We go by epic and we start from issues that are closed and work backwards in the process based on how far they are. Okay, so the first epic here is self-service framework, verify all blob replicators.
Yeah, I can talk about this. So I'm working on the first issue in this. I have an MR open, but there's some more work to do there. I have kind of paused it right now to work on database query improvement. And once that is done, I'll get back to this. Oh yeah, I just saw Mike's email. There is a similar MR that he's already, I'm actually not sure if he has, but I think there's already a similar MR to this that he's working on, so it should be easy to get it done.
Yeah, wait, do you mean the snippet one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I have just pushed some updates to that last night.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for taking a look at the DB performance issues. We'll talk some more about that after we've walked the board. I think most of you are aware, but we can talk some more about that later.
Yeah, okay. So that's it for that first epic. The next one is Geo upgrade testing. Nick.
Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about this with Tanya earlier. I think functionally, I think it's done. So within GET, I've been running through the process a few times and following the documentation, we have a process that starts and ends with an upgraded environment that follows our zero downtime docs. The hardest part is truly confirming that. Like even running some of our tests, it's hard to say that whilst running through the Sidekick upgrade, that Sidekick is fully 100% not going to throw any errors. Like, if you know what I mean, it's easy, we can run our UI test, but how do we know at the point of the UI test running that we're actually exercising the correct part that's currently being updated? So that's the kind of issue of actually saying that it's tested and we have a way of testing it. So this is kind of where I'm at with it at the moment. But like I say, it's within the GitLab environment toolkit. We have the process now of running through the documented process for updating. It's just, like I say, truly confirming that it's zero downtime is what I'm trying. But I believe it is. So certainly the bits that like the original issue went into with like the reload, we know what that stuff is, and yes, we know the correct process for that now. It is just the other parts.
Yeah, I think so. So I think it sounds like you're going kind of like above and beyond this particular issue. Yeah, like you're concerned more about like the whole epic in general. But like this one, you've kind of solved the problems basically, and adding more assurance that there is completely zero downtime. That might be more like additional assurance on top of this.
Yeah, I can raise some issues just against the documentation, like just like we call out, I think that the hub doesn't truly do anything, and I think there was a couple of other minor issues, but nothing major in there that breaks the process. I think we just need to clarify a few extra points in the geo part of it where we don't quite align with the non-geo part, where we just say update all the other nodes. We don't say that they have to be done sequentially. We just say do this on every other box.
Yeah.
Which isn't correct. So minor things like that. So I'll raise issues for that, and then if we like, we can close this issue, and I can create a new one for the broader part of testing it.
I think that makes sense. If that's cool with Nick, Wynn.
Yeah, that sounds good. And it's really exciting to see this in the GET. I'm wondering if you think if it would be good to like do a demo of this sometime and record that. What are your thoughts, or is it not quite there yet?
It's a 3-hour long process.
Okay.
It's not quick. Because we do one at a time, and because they're HA environments, you're talking like 50 nodes where we're just doing the same thing over and over, one at a time.
Okay.
I can do not a demo, but I can do a kind of discussion on what it's doing and maybe if there's better ways of doing what it's doing. But yeah, like a demo would be
Sure.
Now that's that for 3 hours.
Yeah, I think something like that would be useful, just for everybody to have some visibility into what's happening there, and in case they ever need to need to run it for some reason to test something. I think it'd be good to share that knowledge.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
Absolutely. I could sort something out for that.
Okay, yeah, I'll coordinate with you
Cool.
after the call. Thank you.
Cool. All right. The next epic here is Geo Petroni support beta.
Yeah, I can
issues in dev. Yeah.
Yeah, I can provide an update here. Yeah, so I think Douglas is out this week. I don't think there's been any update for the standby cluster. I think he had that on hold while he was looking into the that other S2, what is it? Yeah, deleting the issue with deleting remote branches via the geosecondary. Gabriel is, if we go to, this one, Gabriel's working on this. He's been refactoring the Postgres cookbooks in Omnibus, which has kind of helped him to uncover this issue. It's one of those investigation things where there's like a really tricky order of operations problem that's happening. And so he's kind of like refactoring these cookbooks and to help him narrow in on what's going on here. And so he's made some updates to that and seems to be pretty close to figuring out what's going on and fixing it. But it's just kind of taken a while because of the nature of the investigation. But I think after this, it's kind of a pretty significant improvement into the setup of the Petroni standby cluster. And then we think that, or he thinks that the other setup issue that's in ready for development may be resolved when after this issue is fixed.
This one. Okay.
Yep. But I think those are the main items left for Petroni beta. So I think we're making good progress there, and then we'll be able to move on to the GA items.
Very nice. All right, the next epic is Zach.
Hey.
One at the new design.
Yep. Yeah. So this is going through the review cycles. If you scroll down, let's see what MR. I think we're on MR6 now. Yeah. So this is a maintainer review. Yeah, and then it's just chugging along. Kind of lots of follow up. So I think the most significant update since the last time I talked about this was if you see the 3 issues that are blocked by this issue now. So the validation was always there, but then we have now kind of this bucket of CSS exploration follow-ups and UI backstage follow-ups. So just kind of as a symptom of breaking these changes up, every time you get a review, you get different feedback and different learning experience opportunities, and then they apply to some of the stuff that's already merged. So kind of just tracking all that in there. So there'll be kind of like a couple like minor like wait one MRs that'll kind of get pushed out after this is all done. But then as far as status wise, there was a blocker that got brought up in the front end call today that slowed the most recent MR down, but that has now been since addressed and kind of opened up to the broader front end department. But yeah, the rest of these should go pretty smoothly. The first couple were kind of like larger in size, but the rest had kind of broken down to a pretty good set. But yeah, so no real updates besides that.
Cool, thank you. Okay, Geo usage pane, Alex.
Yeah, so I started on the documentation last week, but it turns out writing documentation is hard. And there are more pieces to the documentation than I kind of originally thought. So I started to break it down into smaller pieces, but then I started looking at some of the database query stuff this week, and so I haven't had a lot of time to circle back to that, but I'm going to hopefully circle back to some of that today.
Okay. Okay, and we'll leave the ready for development. Next topic is convert administrative documentation to focus on jobs to be done.
Yeah, I kind of picked this one up because it was something that I think, could kind of be done outside of the critical path. So just, yeah, sort of in between things, I've just kind of been choosing a page and making these terminology updates. It's actually kind of interesting because I think in some cases it's really easy. You just replace node with site and that's what it means. But I think in some places it's been a little trickier to sort of like decide if we're talking about like a single node geo site or multi-node or maybe the instructions could apply to both. So I've tried to figure out the best way to sort of clarify that. And I think, but it's taken a bit of time just to kind of think about the right wording there. So it's one of those things that sounds really easy, but actually you can kind of run into some kind of tricky things in trying to understand what the docs are actually saying and thinking about the different cases that it could apply to. But yeah, made some good progress, had some couple of these MRs merged already.
Yeah, I think that just proves that, if it's confusing for us to figure out what it's supposed to say, then there's no way that a user outside of GitLab could understand like what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think it's just as one other thing, yeah, kind of something I'm noticing, even though we're changing this, it'll still be referencing stuff in the actual admin UI, where we're referring to nodes when maybe we mean sites. So we'll have to follow up eventually with, I think, some changes in the UI as well.
Okay, the next issue here in dev, Nick Westbury.
Yep. So I was working through this bit today, and Callum was helping me. I've hit a bit of a wall in that originally I've been trying to set this up how I've set up other Kubernetes environments. Like they say you have to have a domain and you have to have HTTPS, but you don't. You can turn them off. It seems in Geo you can't. You do need them. So because I turned them all off and I've been working through errors and I think it's all because of this. So I raised an issue nearly 2 months ago with Infra to get a GitLab QA Geo project in GCP. So I've asked if that can be fulfilled now, like I've tagged managers to see if they can do that, and I've asked if they can add a domain to it as well, so I can actually do this. Because yeah, I've been getting issues, and it does just not like it's because I'm trying. I haven't got those things. I haven't got a domain to do this as we document. So hopefully I can get that soon.
Cool. Well, let me know if you need any help escalating that request. I thought we maybe, without mentioning it, this is has become a little higher priority because of a customer proof of concept, and I just found out that the timeline, I think, is that this may the failover testing may be happening is maybe a little sooner than we
Okay.
thought it might be. So yeah, let me know how we can help with that.
I can CC you on the issue that I've got where I've asked for the project creation,
Cool.
just so you can see it as well.
Okay. The next epic is move LFS files to self-service framework. And
Yep, I did make some progress last week. I think I've tracked down most of the spec failures. The remaining ones appear to be not related, but they are consistently failing on the CI pipeline, so I needed to get at that a little bit. And then thanks to Mike, I did get some good pointers on, I was dealing with some scopes overriding, themselves on load, and I need to be able to kind of dynamically switch based on whether or not a feature flag is enabled. So I think that's working. I just need to do some verification of that, and then I think this will be ready for review.
cool. And is this
This
should
is
it
the
just
issue I'm actually working on. I may want to close the other issues since we're ended
I
up
was gonna
doing it all
say
at
maybe
once.
just close one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, we don't have to do that here, but if you think that makes sense. Cool. The next epic is snippet verification. That's me. So we recently released verification of package files, and I didn't finish updating the developer documentation for adding verification. So I started looking at that, and then I realized that it'd be easier to write it if we have an example that we just add verification to, rather than like package files, which is like the work had been done all over the place, like as part of implementing it in the self-service framework. So I'm doing the snippet, the main part of the snippet verification. So the tests passed. So this is now in review rather than in dev. And I think it's coming along.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, just want to call out, I think Fabian pointed this out in the Geo channel, but the package file replication that released in 13.10 was highlighted in the opening paragraph of the 13.10 release post. So just kind of highlights how important this is to DR, and just how important DR is, that it has that it got highlighted like that in the release post. So I think this is exciting to see us quickly following up with more verification work.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, the next topic is, that one is just open, ready for development. Test gaps in Geo group. Nick. Okay, yeah, so this was with Jenny, but she had to go on leave.
Yes, this has probably been assigned to me, but I wouldn't say it's active at the moment.
Yeah, what should we, I don't think it's necessarily urgent, so it doesn't need to be active. Should we just,
Although I think there is
kinda-
actually, so there is an MR open with some feedback. I
oh,
just need to
okay.
look at it
Okay, okay.
and address the feedback and test it and check it.
Oh, I see.
I just haven't planned to do it yet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't
think-
realize that. Okay, cool.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, because there is, I got an email today about an MR that is literally got some feedback on it for personal snippets. So yeah, yeah, there is an MR open for this, and I'll look at
Nice.
addressing the comments.
All right, thanks, Nick. The next epic we have here is secondary mimicry. I just pushed an update to that. It kind of, yeah, it kind of blocks the next step. There's only 2 steps to implementing the MVP for that epic. So this is the first step, and it's not too big. I just need to get through it and add the endpoint, and then Kriti is going to work on the Workhorse side to implement that feature. So yeah, I just pushed an update, and I think I should be able to get it into review this week.
Cool. Do we have the other Workhorse issue on the board yet, or is that ready to be
Oh,
brought
I guess
onto
it's
the
not
board?
on the board.
Okay.
We could, like I said, it's kind of blocked by that one. Should we
Okay.
add it to just scheduling or something?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I don't think this is one of those ones we'll necessarily lose track of.
Or sorry, not scheduling.
Ready for development. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Geo active. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, and that's it for the epics. Wow, we didn't have anything close to this one. There was a family and friends day last week.
Yeah, and I think I was noticing that too, but I think we actually had quite a few closed last week, so I think maybe that's yeah.
Oh,
that
just
plus,
not on the board.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I think last scheduling call we went through quite a few closed items, so I think we're yeah, we're sort of yeah. I don't think there was anything. I think we had a lot closed, but not necessarily a lot like that was in review, almost ready to close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So Jenny posted that when the personal snippets MR that we already talked about is merged, then this can be closed. I'm just curious if would it be worth like adding this issue link into here, Nick Westbury?
Yeah, put it all together because I know when I'm looking at it, it'll remind me at least, then I'll be able to
Cool.
do it all at once.
All right. Okay. Is Valerie here? No. Okay, so yeah, this issue is it's possible for registry records to get stuck thinking like that they're being synced currently. Like if you kill Sidekick or something, then they can get stuck there. So I know Valerie had a merge request open, and it seems to be in review. I'm just going to remove this. We only need those on the issues, right? The workflow label.
Yeah, I think they maybe get copied over if you open the MR from the issue. Yeah, but yeah, it's mostly important for the issue.
Okay, yeah. So that is currently in review. Oh, this was I have a merge request open to change some developer guidelines or add something to the developer guidelines. That's just something I'm doing on the side. It is in review. I just need to probably ping somebody. And then in dev, we have deleting remote branches.
Yep. Yeah, I think Valerie has taken this on. I haven't seen in MR yet. I think it's still he's still working on it. He picked it up from Douglas, who was doing the investigation before. I think we could probably ping Valerie for an update here for visibility.
Okay. And that's it for things in development or beyond. So yeah, Nick, do you want to take ready
Sure.
for development and open?